Okay, so we begin with the chapter Dodi's Daddy is a Garbage Man. And last time we started the chapter, the class teacher, Mrs. was asking a question what the children wanted to do when they grew up. And most of them talked about their parents and the work they did. And they were inspired by their parents' work and wanted to take up a job closer to what they had seen their parents doing. Out of those many students, one was Jody, whose father was a garbage picker. And while the question was asked, Jody loved this interactive session where the teacher asked questions and the children answered. But on this particular class, she was little upset because of the children who were laughing and making fun of her because they knew, most of the children knew that Jody's father garbage man, and they considered it a very low job. They considered it a smelly and a filthy work to do. So they were all giggling and laughing at her when Mr. Swales very efficiently took the class in command. He gave them a shout, asked them to be quiet, and he wanted that the children should apologize to Jody as well as they should write a letter to her father, saying that they really love the efforts, appreciate the work that he does in keeping the city clean. So till here we had done. On your screen, last paragraph. And groaned. Said sorry, Jody, but Jody could tell they didn't really mean it. She also knew nobody wanted to write her father a letter. Wouldn't make them do it. Her face was burning red and she felt like crying. Mr. Swales came to her desk and patted her shoulder. Let's go out in the hall, and while everyone's writing those letters, so we can have a private talk. So now Jody, in spite of hearing the apology from the class, she knew very well somewhere deep in her heart that the children were not meaning that sorry. She knew that the children weren't sorry and they were just giggling, and she did not want the children to write the letter. And she wanted, if Mr. Sales would have not asked for writing this letter for her father. Her face was burning red. That means she was very, very upset and full of anxiety, and she was about to cry. She was holding back her tears when Mr. Swales, understanding the situation, asked Jody that while the class is writing a letter, he asked Jody that we will go for a stroll or for a small walk. Turn over. Jody started crying out in the hall. She didn't want to cry in front of everybody, but she couldn't hold back anymore. Now, once she was alone, once she was with her teacher, she could not stop her tears and she was in tears and she broke down. And she didn't want anyone else to see the tears, so she was holding it back till she was alone or with Mr. Swales. Mr. Swales was tall. He knelt and gave her his handkerchief to blow her nose. I'm sorry this happened, he said. But remember, hard work done well is something to be proud of. There's nothing wrong with being a sanitation engineer. Absolutely not. So now to console Jody, Mr. Swales, he was a tall man. He bent down to her level and offered her the handkerchief and said that he was really sorry for taking up this topic. But then he said, please underline these lines. But remember, hard work done well is something to be proud of. Now, this says it all. He says in a very subtle way that whatever type of a work it is, wherever there is hard work in that work, whether that work is of a high level or a low menial job, but if it is performed with hard work and perseverance, then one should be proud of it. There is nothing which could undermine this situation in the whole work. If it is taken up with hard work and efforts then the things are there to be proud of. Jodie's father came to walk her home from school as usual. Now, at the time when the school gave over, every day when the school gave over, Jodie's father used to come to pick her up. She didn't run up to him the way she always did. Now, like every other day, she used to run to her father on seeing him, but today she did not. When they were up in their apartment, Jodie went to her little room and cried for a good long time before she did her homework. Her father must have heard her. Now, when they reached their apartment, Jodie went to her little room and she cried there for a longer time than she did her homework. Now, her father must have seen all this. So he came to into her room. What happened, Jodie? Why are you so sad? Now, father very curiously asked these questions. Jodie didn't want to tell him at first. She was embarrassed and didn't want to hurt her father's feelings. Her father sat on the bed, but her hand put his hand on her shoulder. It's okay, sweetie. You can tell me. You can tell me everything you know, but you don't have to tell me your secrets if you don't want to. Is this a secret? Now, father was concerned, and Jody at the same time did not want to tell the father because he didn't want to embarrass him of what had happened because of him, that he being a garbage man, the children were laughing. So she didn't want to hurt her father, but father was wise enough and he came near to her, consoled her, and said that she could share anything which she wanted. At the same time, he also respected the fact that if there's any secret, she need not tell it. If it's something to be to be disguised, he should not open it. So he was very practical and open towards his daughter. It's not a secret. The other kids laughed at you because you are a garbage man. They said your job was dirty and you smelled bad. They said I smelled bad too. Now she was all in tears again and she told her father that nothing a secret. My kids in my school, my classmates, they laughed and made fun of me because you are a garbage man, you're a garbage picker, and your job is, they consider it dirty and smelly. And the children even believed and said that even I smelled too. Now Judy looked at her father. He didn't seem angry, hurt, or sad. His big white teeth gleamed under his walrus mustache. Now, on hearing the conversation, on hearing what she had to say, father was as constant as ever. He was neither angry nor hurt, or neither he was sad. But at the same time, he gave a perfect smile from his walrus mustache. Now, what is a walrus mustache? Second. Oh, God. A walrus mustache is something like this, you know. Have you seen the face of a walrus? The mustaches come like this, okay? So it is something like this from within his walrus mustache. They could see, he could see, she could see a father smiling. Okay. Well, then he said, I guess those kids just don't know how much fun it is to be a garbage man. So he very confidently said, you need not worry. It's only because the children don't know how interesting and fun the job holds, holds, how interesting and nice the job is. For some reason, that made Jody start crying again. Father hugged her tight. Tell me honestly, Jody, do I smell bad? So now father was concerned and he said, stop crying and just, he gave her a tight hug and said, okay, tell me honestly, do you think that I smell bad? Jody sniffed. You smell good, like laundry soap. That means as clean as a laundry clothes. He was spectacularly clean from his dress as well as from his, hygiene. Come on, Jody. You can tell your you can tell your old garbage man daddy. He he stinks. So now he again cross-checked and confirmed, no, no, it's okay if you tell me that I smell bad, I stink. You can. Jody smiled too. I mean it. You smell nice. You always smell nice. Your friends at school were right, though. Being a garbage man is a dirty job. Garbage is filthy. So now he said, you've been honest. You've told me that I do not smell. But then that's very true that the job of a garbage man is a dirty job and it is filthy at times. Every day I see stuff so disgusting it make your head spin. Now he's telling about the kind of garbage he gets to see every day and how it spins his head. And man, does it ever stink? But then me and the guys I work with grab the stinking garbage and throw it in the truck. The truck's a big green monster who growls and gulps nasty garbage. Garbage. Then everything's nice and clean the way we like it. And when I get home, I take a long hot shower so I'm clean as the day I was born. I like my job, Jody, and I like people I work with too. So now he's telling that though this job is disgusting and many a times his head spins with the amount of garbage and the kind and variety of garbage he's dealing with. But he does it efficiently with this team and he nicely picks up the garbage, cleans the place, and throws the garbage into the green monster truck. That means the truck which is used for loading the garbage and then it is disposed of and the place is left neat and clean. All this work needs a lot of effort and it often leads him to be stinking. But then he comes home and he takes a hot shower and he's as clean as the day he was born. That means the day a child is born, is cleaned up so nicely. So he's as fresh as ever. So he says that I think the people he works and his work is interesting enough. Jodie's mother yelled, "Dinner was ready." Now, while these father and daughter were having the conversation, the mother yelled that the dinner was ready. Tell you what, Jodie, tomorrow's Saturday, but as you know, sometimes I work on Saturdays. Go to bed extra early tonight, and tomorrow you will come to work with me. I want you to see what your garbage man daddy does. So now he throws an offer to the girl and he says, Ki, uh, tomorrow is Saturday, the next day is Saturday, and most of the time he doesn't go for work on Saturdays, but at times he does go also. So he says, now tomorrow I'll take you, go to bed early so that you can get up early along with me. And then he wished to take her to the work where he goes to do the work. And so he decided that he would take Jodie along. Jodie was of two minds as she fell asleep. She was excited her father was going to take her to work, but wasn't sure she wanted to see or touch disgusting, stinking garbage. Now, while Jodie was going to bed, she was in two minds. She was not able to decide whether she was more excited to go that she's going along with her father to see how the work is done or whether she was really disgusted in seeing that work which where there's a stinking garbage all around. So she wasn't sure whether she was wanting to go there or not. Next thing she knew, her father opened her window to let morning into her room. It was still dark outside. Her father picked her up out of bed. Look, Jody, he whispered, most people don't get to see this. So now next day, early morning, she was awakened by her father when he came and opened her window and allowed the fresh air to enter the room along with the first ray of light. And as she opened her eyes, her father told her that, see, it's a rare sight to see this lovely dawn time, and most of the people miss it out because they get up late. So that means he goes to his work early in the morning. Off in the dark distance, Jody saw clouds slightly pink underneath. City lights shimmered. The horizon line beyond the river glowed blue and green. Jody pulled on jeans and a sweatshirt and was ready to go. So in this paragraph, they are telling you the early daybreak time when the clouds are mingled. They are still turning pinkish. That means the sun is about to bloom out, and the city lights have shimmered. That means they're gradually diminishing. The horizon line beyond, that means the far line where the sky and the land appears to meet, is glowing. It's glowed with blue and green. That means the mixtures, there were faint colors all around. And in that situation, she pulled up her jeans and sweatshirt and she was ready to go along with her. We'll get breakfast on the way to work, her father said. Her father assured her that we will have our breakfast on the way only. The garbage truck depot wasn't far away. The place really didn't smell too good. Jody wrinkled her nose. Now, the place where they were working, where the garbage truck was kept, that place was dirty and it was very close by, and it was not very far away journey. So when she did not smell good. That place did not smell good, and she wrinkled her nose. That means उसने नाक मुंह सिकोड़ी. Okay, don't worry, kid. You'll get used to it. In 5 minutes, you won't smell a thing. Your nose is smart enough to know when to turn itself off. So now the father assured her that don't worry, the smell will only last for 5 minutes more. Then your nose will get accustomed, and your you'll be smart enough to adjust. The nose will be smart enough to adjust. Nearby men and women were at work in the depot, even though it was so early in the morning. So, though it was early morning, but the men and women were all working early in the morning. Everybody was yelling and the truck engines were loud, but they seemed to be having a good time. Garbage men and garbage women came over to say hello to Jody. They said her father was a nice guy. And now, so when they saw Jody, all the team members, whether they were garbage men or women, both, all of them, they were working and they were screaming and yelling and shouting with a loud noise of truck engines also. Yet each one was happy and enjoying their work. And they greeted Jody with a smile and they told her that her father was a nice guy. Okay, we'll stop here for today. Any other problem you have in this? Any problem till here?